There are no police where you are going, no judges, no courts, no prisons, no written rules of any kind. And yet somehow nobody is stealing your food, nobody is taking your shelter, and the people around you are cooperating, sharing, and looking out for each other. This was the reality for almost every human being who ever lived. For the vast majority of human history, there were no laws, and life in many ways worked better than you might expect. So how did people live together without rules? What kept everyone from simply taking whatever they wanted? And when humans finally invented laws, did things actually get better? Or did we trade one set of problems for an entirely different one? Let's go back around 200,000 years to the earliest modern humans. These people lived in small bands, usually between 20 and 50 individuals. Everyone knew everyone. There were no strangers in the group. And this is the first key to understanding why laws were unnecessary. When you live your entire life surrounded by the same 20 people, and when your survival depends entirely on those 20 people, your behavior is controlled by something far more powerful than any written rule. It is controlled by reputation. In a small band, everyone sees everything. If you steal from a member of your group, everyone knows immediately. If you refuse to share your food when others are hungry, everyone remembers. If you attack someone without reason, the entire group watches. And the consequences are swift and social. You are excluded. You are shamed. You are no longer trusted. In a world without supermarkets, without medicine, without any of the safety nets of modern life, being excluded from your group was not a punishment. It was a death sentence. The social pressure to behave was total and immediate in a way that no police force has ever been able to replicate. Anthropologists who have studied the few remaining hunter-gatherer societies in the world consistently find the same thing. These communities have extraordinarily sophisticated social mechanisms for managing behavior. They use gossip, and this is not a trivial thing. Gossip in small communities is a powerful enforcement tool. Information about who behaved badly travels instantly. A person who cheats or steals finds that their reputation precedes them everywhere they go. They cannot escape it because there is nowhere to escape to. They also use what researchers call leveling mechanisms. In hunter-gatherer societies, anyone who accumulates too much, or who starts behaving as though they are better than everyone else, is immediately brought back down through teasing, ridicule, and social exclusion. The Kongsan people of southern Africa, one of the most studied hunter-gatherer groups in the world, have a practice where the hunter who brings back the largest kill is mocked and teased by the group rather than praised. This seems strange until you understand the reason. It prevents any individual from becoming too powerful, too proud, or too convinced of their own importance. Equality was not just a value, it was actively enforced every single day through social pressure. But what about serious offenses? What happened when someone genuinely harmed another person? This is where ancient human communities reveal something remarkable. They dealt with serious problems through a process that modern legal scholars would actually recognize as restorative justice. The focus was not on punishment, but on repairing the damage. Mediators within the group, usually respected elders, would bring the parties together. Compensation would be agreed upon. The goal was to restore the relationship and keep the group intact, because a broken group meant everyone suffered. When that failed, when someone was so dangerous or so disruptive that the group could not function, the ultimate sanction was exile, permanent removal from the community. In the ancient world, this was an extreme measure taken only in extreme circumstances because it meant losing a member of the group, which weakened everyone. It was not done lightly, and because it was not done lightly, the threat of it carried enormous weight. Now here's where the story gets interesting. About 10,000 years ago, everything changed. Agriculture arrived. People settled in one place. Villages grew into towns. Towns grew into cities. And suddenly, the small band world that human psychology had evolved for, the world of 20 to 50 people where everyone knew everyone, was gone. In its place was a world of thousands, then tens of thousands, then millions of strangers living side by side. In this new world, reputation no longer worked. A thief in a city of 50,000 people could steal from someone, disappear into the crowd, and never face any social consequence. The ancient enforcement mechanisms that had worked perfectly for hundreds of thousands of years simply collapsed under the weight of anonymous urban life. And so, for the first time in human history, laws became necessary. Not because humans had suddenly become worse, but because the social environment had changed beyond what the old system could handle. The earliest written legal codes, the Code of Hammurabi in ancient Babylon, the laws of Manu in ancient India, appeared almost exactly when cities did. This is not a coincidence. Laws are a technology. They are a tool invented to solve a specific problem. How do you manage the behavior of large numbers of strangers who do not know each other and cannot rely on reputation alone? And here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody tells you. This solution came with a cost. The ancient system, for all its informality, produced societies with extraordinary levels of equality. Resources were shared. Power was kept in check by constant social pressure. No one could accumulate too much. The moment formal laws and governments appeared, inequality exploded. The people who wrote the laws were the people with power, and the laws, not surprisingly, tended to protect the interests of the powerful. This does not mean ancient life was better. It was brutal, short, and dangerous in ways modern life is not. But it does mean that something genuinely valuable was lost when the small band world disappeared. The deep human need to be known, really known, by the people around you. The sense that your behavior matters because the people watching actually care about you. Laws can punish, but they cannot replace that. The next time you follow a rule because you are afraid of consequences, ask yourself a different question. What would you do if everyone who mattered to you was watching? For most of human history, the answer to that question was all the law anyone ever needed.